Hello, and in this lecture presented by www.free-academy.com, we're going to be covering the derivative product rule. This rule is incredibly important because it allows us to find the derivative of two functions multiplied each other, f of x times g of x. And we're going to solve some problems in this lecture to demonstrate it, but we can't do that without knowing what the product rule is. So, the derivative of f of x times g of x is equal to f prime of x times g of x plus f of x times g prime of x. The derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second. One thing that I've always liked about the product rule is I've always found it extremely easy to remember. So hopefully you do as well. It'll certainly make your life a lot easier. Let me box this up really quick, and then we'll go on and we'll start explaining how this actually works with solving problems. So we use the derivative product rule in two different ways. One, out of convenience, and hopefully I spelled that right, and two, out of necessity. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to spell that. I'm not much of a speller. So going in and doing number one, we'll do the product rule for convenience. Say we need to find the derivative with respect to x of x to the third plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 multiplied by negative 2x squared plus 6x plus 4 over x. Now you can imagine how long it's going to take to expand that algebraically. We got 4 terms here, we have 3 terms here. That's ugly. It's a mess. It's going to take forever. Let's not do it. Let's call the first term equal to f of x, and the second term we're going to say is g of x. So now we already have 2 of the terms necessary to find the derivative, so we just need f prime of x and g prime of x. So let's compute those two, and then we'll plug them into the formula for the product rule, and we'll have our answer. Now, at this point, I'm going to assume that you're comfortable doing the power rule of derivatives. If you're not, you need to go back, review those lectures, and do some practice problems. And I'm also going to assume that you're comfortable with the constants in derivatives, so we're going to do these pretty quick. F of x is equal to x to the third plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. This is equal to 3x squared plus 4x plus 3. And in g of x, this will be equal to negative 4x plus 6 minus 4x to the negative 2. You can go through and you can calculate those out if you don't believe me, but those are, I'm pretty sure, correct. So we have f of x, g of x, f prime of x, and g of x. Let's find the derivative of this whole mess. First, it's going to be f prime of x, 3x squared plus 4x plus 3. And this will be times g of x, which is negative 2x squared plus 6x plus 4 over x. And this is going to be added to f of x, which is x to the third plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 multiplied by g prime of x, which is negative 4x plus 6 minus 4x to the negative 2. So just by simply splitting the function up into 2 different functions and finding their derivatives, plugging them back into the formula, we saved a heck of a lot of time distributing this out. And in fact, if you do the work to distribute out all those terms, you're going to find that it's exactly the same had you done it before and then applied your product rule. Power rule, sorry. Now, I said we did it out of convenience. The second one is out of necessity. For example, how do you find the derivative of x times sine of x. There's no way to do this with, distributing out. You can't get through this with algebra. You need to use the product rule on this. So, to do the product rule on this, we're going to call f of x is equal to x, and g of x is going to be equal to sine of x. So we have f of x and g of x. Now we need f prime of x and g prime of x. F prime of x, the derivative of x is equal to 1. G prime of x, the derivative of sine of x, is equal to cosine of x. And that was just using the formula that we memorized. Derivative of sine of x is equal to cosine of x. So we have f prime, g prime. Let's plug that into our formula. First of all, f prime, 1 times g prime, cosine of x. Or, sorry, not g prime. F prime times g of x. So we'll just start over this. F prime is equal to 1. This will be multiplied by g of x, which is sine of x. And this will be added to f of x times the derivative of g of x, which is cosine of x. So the derivative of x sine of x is equal to sine of x plus x times the cosine of x. Now we're going to do a lot more practice problems on the product rule. More complicated functions, some bigger ones, some shorter ones. And we'll just get lots of practice at this, so you guys will all be masters by the time you're done.